In day 2 of my series of 5 lives. So you can probably tell by the title, it's going to be a really, really honest live tonight. And actually, I don't think I've ever talked about this. Maybe with a couple of people. Hey, Susan. Maybe with a couple of people I've talked about it, but not with many. Maybe just those who were close to me kind of knew about this when it happened at the time, but not that many. So it is my first night of sharing this. And in the interest of like honesty and being real, I've just poured a glass of wine. I just thought, oh, I feel nervous talking about this. So cheers. I know it's a Tuesday. I'm just having one. When you're coming in, you can say hi. I normally just have hot chocolate. But yeah, I've had to have a vino because I felt like, oh, I don't know if I want to share this, but I'm going to. Good evening, Hal. Good to see you. Say hi when you're coming in. It is good to see you all. They said it was risk-free and I nearly lost everything. So brutal truths here. I do like to be very honest because we're talking about building side businesses this week. And I think that everything we see online normally is kind of built up, isn't it? It's built up because the people who are telling it in some way, it's not a bad thing, but have an agenda. We either want to take you down one route. So you, I don't know, buy my product, my service, my opportunity, whatever. Whereas here this week and next week in our launch group, the link is in the title or in my bio on Instagram, you will see that I'm just the facilitator. I'm giving you a buffet spread of different businesses that you can do. And these businesses will have pros, they'll have cons, they'll have advantages, they'll have disadvantages. And my job is merely to present these to you, to find the best experts to teach you them. However, businesses, side businesses especially, are not going to be one size fits all. There'll be some of you that are like, I really love marketing and social media. And others of you that are like, I'm never going to put my face on something. That is just not for me. We've got something for you inside of the group. It might be that you think, you know, I love business. I like the thought of having my own business, but I don't want to do all this marketing stuff because that confuses the life out of me. We know that it's everyone's biggest pain, marketing. You could have the best product in the world. You could have the cure for cancer, which I think is probably the most wanted product or solution, I should say, in the world. But if you don't know how to market it, people are just not going to get to hear about it. So with that being said, we even have businesses next week inside of the launch group where we talk about zero marketing. You have to do zero marketing for them. So if this sounds like you and something for you, then click on the link either in the bio on Instagram or in the title, and you can come and join the launch group. Or someone's nicely put it in the comments too. So thank you for that. Okay, so let me share with you a bit of a story. I'm going to talk to you about when I got started as an entrepreneur, just starting a side business because I was clueless. I had no idea. I'd never run a business before. I'd had a little dabble with a couple of things like crafty things and like Diamantian shoes and stuff like that. Nothing really serious at all. I didn't know how to market. I didn't know how to even, officially start up a business. I knew nothing. But I was a police officer. I was earning 1,600 quid a month. And I was about to go on to maternity leave. And if any of you have ever been through that, just type maternity in the comments so I know that you know exactly what I mean when I say that when I was going or thinking, even just thinking about going off on maternity, I was terrified because I thought I really want 12 months at home with my son. I really wanted that, but I knew that our finances just would not allow it. I was earning 1,600 quid, but Sean was earning a little bit more than that. But together, we still ended up in the overdraft every month. And if anything happened, like the one thing that used to flipping kill me was my tyres on my car, because I used to travel back to Wales. I just had a little Renault Clio and my tyres on my car. And when one of them went, all four would be doing it at the same time. It was probably 120 quid, something like that. It crippled me. That was it. That month, gone. And so I was terrified about going on to maternity because I was scared of having to come off it, much sooner than what I'd really like. So I'm hearing all the maternity things. I'm seeing all the maternity things now. I know that you know exactly where I was at. So I was desperate to find a way. I'd always been interested in business. I'd always thought like, oh, I'd love to run my own business, but God, I didn't think I had anything that I could give. I had thought, oh, I've got no skills in business. I didn't go to college and do anything to do with business, so I've got no chance. Now, you and I both know that times have changed and people are building businesses around their hobbies and things that they love and all of those things. So times are changing. This was 10 years ago. And it wasn't quite the same as it is now. But now I think it's even more flipping confusing. Type confused in the comments if you're someone who feels confused when they look online, trying to find something that you can do to bring in an extra stream of income. But with a disclaimer, like something that feels right to you, something that you feel interested in, something that you don't feel like you've got to sacrifice your soul to do, something that actually excites you. You're like, oh yeah, I would really love that. So if you're confused when you look online, type confused in the comments. And you might want to click on the link to join the group because we're going to eradicate that confusion next week. Not next week, week after, 27th. That's when we start. Now, when I started my first side business, this was in network marketing. So if you don't know what network marketing is, a company already has all of the products. They have a marketing plan to go alongside it that you can earn money. So you can earn money selling products and you can earn money building a team and teaching them how to sell products too, to put it simply. So I decided to get started in it. It was £200 for a starter kit. And I thought, right, I couldn't afford it, really couldn't afford it. I had to put 20 quid on my credit card to have the full £200 to put on it. But my husband said to me, like, you know, as long as you pay it back, that's okay, because we cannot afford it. You're going on maternity, we can't afford 200 quid. I had no friends, no personal friends that I could ask who had done it before, that would tell me the honest truth, that had no agenda for me to get started and to, you know, get building in the business. So I have no friends that would tell me the truth. The only thing I had was YouTube at the time. So I looked on YouTube and I looked around at some people and I just thought, oh, they seem pretty normal and they're earning, you know, whatever they were earning. It was nothing crazy. It was like a couple of hundred quid here, a couple of hundred quid there. There were some people who'd done really, really well, but I wasn't stupid. I was like, okay, there's like the minority of people do really, really well, but I didn't want to do really, really well. I just wanted a little bit of money so that I would be able to stay off on maternity. I wanted to afford a cup of coffee if I walked to the coffee shop with my little boy in a pram or something along those lines. I didn't want anything crazy when I got started. But when I did get started, I quickly earned a couple of hundred quid within the first couple of weeks. Now, because I was a police officer, anyone who's a police officer, type police in the comments if you're a cop. If you're a police officer and you want to do a business alongside, or you want another job alongside being a police officer, you've got to put in, I think it's called a business interest. It might have changed now, but 10 years ago, it's called a business interest. So you had to fill out the form, tell them exactly what it was, name the company, tell them exactly what you'd be doing, how many hours you'd be doing it, when you'd be doing it, how you'd be doing it, and give them like a full brief of what this business was. So I did that. I did it all like legitimately. And then they agreed it. And that was no different really to anybody else, because there were loads of people in the offices that were already in the same industry. There were catalogs on tables. There were girls selling shakes and giving their deliveries to other people in the office. So no one batted an eyelid. I'm sure they had their same business interests filled out, and no one batted an eyelid for them doing it whatsoever. They didn't say it was a scam. They didn't challenge if it was okay, just nothing. Like, it was just totally cool. And I sometimes think, why? Like, why did no one say anything? Because I think they just saw it as a little side business and it probably didn't make them much. And people are comfortable, aren't they? Like, if it doesn't challenge what they think or how they think, then people are just like, oh, well, it is what it is. Doesn't really affect me. Now, I remember skipping into the office. Literally, I'd had like this really rubbish pregnancy or challenging pregnancy so far. And I was sat on a rubber ring in the office. I was in like this intelligence hub, and I sat on a rubber ring because my hips were really bad. I had that SPD thing. And I went in, I was like, I'd been really like, oh, I'm sick of this and I'm so bored being stuck in the office or whatever. All of a sudden, I like skirt in one day and I'm like, guys, I'm starting a business. And they're like, have you? I'm like, yeah. Done my business interest, it's all good to go. You know, I've got my pack through and that's it. I'm not coming back off maternity. And they were all like, what? I was like, yeah, that's going to be me done. I'm going to leave the police. Now, when I look back now, I just think like, oh, Emma. What? I mean, luckily enough, it all worked out fine. And I didn't look like too much of a plonker, but to just go in, I sometimes think, where did that confidence come from? Like, where was it? And I think it was because I'd seen that other people had done it before me. And so I thought, yeah, why not? This was after I'd earned a couple of hundred, I think. And I was like, right, that's it. I'm doing it. I thought, Christ, if I could earn a couple of £100, £326 I earned in the first 2 weeks. I thought, if I could earn that in 2 weeks and I'm working full time, imagine what I can do if I really put my mind to it. So my goal changed really, really quickly. So I was like, well, if I can do that, maybe I can double it. Maybe I can double that. So I then had a goal that I wanted to match my police wage before William was born. When I started, he was like 10 weeks before he was due. And then obviously a couple of weeks into earning that, we're probably looking at 8 weeks then. So 8 weeks later, I remember I was earning £1,600 as a police officer. My next month kind of team bonus was 1,500 and something pounds. And then I earned just around £1,000 in selling products. So I got like cash profit for that. So I'd already exceeded my police income. Now, this is when it changed because I got a promotion with the company and we posted on Facebook and all of that kind of stuff. And I actually paid for me and Sean a hotel room in York for New Year's. I was pregnant, so it wasn't like some crazy night out or anything, but we went for a nice meal. And I remember waking up the next day and we were walking out of the hotel, just walking into York. And remember, this is my secure job. This is my job that is secure as a police officer. My £1,600 a month was secure as anything is when you're a police officer. It's not that secure. And this was supposed to be like risk-free, although obviously, you know, it's a dangerous job, but the income was stable, I guess. You got sick pay, you got maternity pay, and there's no chance of redundancy in the police, right? Wrong. After I left, there were redundancies. Can you believe it? Anyway, I had done a short video, just a short video on, you know, my name. I just said like, my name is Emma. I work full-time as a police officer. I'm on maternity because I had just decided to go onto maternity early. And so just said I was building a business. Now, I don't think this was a public video. And if it was, well, that's maybe how they knew. But I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. I was just telling the truth. I just thought, oh, that's fine. I had just hit that promotion. And as I walked out of the door in the morning, they said, the police, I don't even know what department it was that rang me, but they were like, I'm really sorry. Like, I don't really want to be ringing you. And the girl on the phone was like, I think you're amazing, by the way. Like, we've all heard about what you're doing and you're building this new business. And, you know, we think it's awesome. but you're going to have to take the video down where you say you're a police officer. And I was like, oh, right. Like, how come? Thinking it was like for my security and safety. And they were like, no, you just can't do it. And I was like, oh, right, okay, well, why? And they were like, you know, it's just like you're earning a lot of money with it. And I was like, yeah. And I said, I put my business interest in though. And is that not okay? And they were like, you know, we don't actually know the reason. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to take the video down. But if you can give me a good reason why, and I can appreciate that, then I'll take it down. But you've just got to do what you've got to do. And I'll just crack on. And I came off the phone and you know what it's like my legs were shaking. I was shaking like a leaf, my tummy completely, I felt physically sick. And I was like, right, I've really got to do this now. I've got to do this, Sean. And I couldn't understand. The logic I couldn't understand was like, you go into the Nick and there's like loads of catalogs and stuff around for different other network marketing companies. And there's loads of products in there that people are selling to each other. And I never went in with any products or anything like that. So how come it was all right for them, but it's not okay for me? Now, if it was the video, that's fine. So if I was like, I had another phone call, I was like, I could take the video down. It's no problem. I'll just turn it private and that's fine. I'll do that. And I think I did it. I think I did that. But I was like, what's the issue? And they were like, we're going to look into what it is that you're doing and we need to check it's all right. And I was like, why is this then? Is it because I'm earning too much money? Because within the first 6 months of business, I was earning 6 figures. And I think that's just really, and later on I spoke to some people who, were sort of part of talking about it, let's just say. And they were just like, it was just scary. Like they'd never seen anyone make that kind of money. And, it was all right when people are just doing it for a little bit of money on the side and earning like just a little bit. But I think maybe, and I get it, maybe it's not the thing that they want police officers saying that they're working outside of this, or maybe it makes you a bit vulnerable. I don't know. And I'm open to like, maybe I wasn't right. But in that moment, I literally thought like, oh my God, like number one, I could just be asked to leave. Number two, if I'm asked to make a choice, I don't want to stay in the police. I don't want to stay. My light's gone off. I don't want to stay in the police. Like I want to make my own way. I want to make this work. So the risk was literally either build it or potentially lose everything that I built up in the police. And I really did love my career in the police, but when you're about to become a mum, you suddenly become really aware, I think, of your mortality and realize you are not completely immortal. And do I want to be coming home with bruises on me and all that stuff and kind of, saying it's my kids and explaining to them? No, I don't really. But people were sacked in the police a lot. And I was like, well, I wouldn't be surprised. And even when I resigned, and when Sean resigned, he literally just handed over his warrant card in a car park in Manchester City, like football ground, to his mates, like his boss, whatever, his sergeant. And just was like, oh, there you go, mate. And he was like, oh, good luck with everything. Like, yeah. And they're like, thanks for your service. Thanks for your 11 years or whatever he did. Like nothing. And it just made me realize that actually, there's the plug there. It just made me realize that actually, what is risky? I learned some lessons from this. And if you're thinking of building a side business, it's something that you need to check out realistically. Like you need to check it out. I should have asked some more questions. I should have asked like, is this going to be a problem if I earn a shed ton of money? Can I mention this in other places? Is this against policies? And I should have been more thorough. So I can tell you now that if you're looking to build a side business and you have a job that you're working full time and they've got, oh, there I go, I'm back. And they've got some policies around it. It would be definitely something that I would recommend that you do, like check out the rules. I know that some people in other forces weren't allowed to build any kind of side business alongside what they were doing. So there are definitely things to check, but this is in all jobs, it would be something to check what kind of side business you can build, if any. So the first risk for me was definitely like the video and be like, no, I think I'm going to have to make a choice. I'd only earned 1,800 quid as it was at that point, I think. The second risk that I took was that I went on maternity leave early. I decided that, look, if I can do that in 2 weeks, I'm going to go on maternity leave early and I'm going to really try and build this up as fast as I can because now I'm going to need it. Hey, Jan, I'm going to need it. Like I have to do this. And from there on, I kind of continued to take risks, I guess. Going on to maternity leave early was a risk because if it didn't work out, then I would have had to go back when the baby was even younger. But my income went from, I still remember the exact amounts, 326, 1,521, 3,016, 4,337, 6,457. That was the month that Sean said, I said to Sean, oh, when would you like leave or go on a career break? And, then we'll have the flexibility. And back then it was like driving around the country and stuff, in people's homes every night. And he said, oh no, you'd have to get to at least double figures. So, and the next month it was 11,090. And then it continued to grow from there for years. So Sean took a career break from the police and we actually moved down to Wales. Now, another risk that I took after that, risk taker me, from like, staying in my job and being like really scared to then thinking like, stuff it, I'm all in. We moved to Wales and my mum and dad lent us their a deposit for our home because we needed that. Why did we need that? I think it was something to do with like Sean being on a career break. We had to have that. And I didn't know how I was going to pay them back. But I remember this being the thing, like, that's the last time, like, I'll ever be in this position. and I'm always going to take care of my parents from here on in. And it was a big like eye opener. Like it was a big moment for me. And I think, I'm not sure when it was. I think we moved in the May, and then by the December I was able to give them their money back. And yeah, I'm just thinking about the moment I did that, and it was really lush. This was 10 years ago, and to me at the time, it felt risky. And there are businesses that you can start that are risky. There are. I'm going to tell you all about these businesses next week in terms of when I talk about the different side businesses that you can build. Some that I have experience in, some that I have experts that are going to share those businesses with you, give you all of the information. I have told them, like, there's no fluffing this up, guys. I want them to have every single piece of information they can possibly have in order to make a decision if that side business is for them or not. I don't care if, you know, people in different industries like get miffed off of that. You've got to have it straight, because this is big decisions to make. And if I was making like a risky decision, or the decisions that I made, you know, it was because I was experiencing it, and I was basing it on my experience, how much I trusted myself, how much I knew what my potential was and what I could do. So although it was a risk, it wasn't a risk for me. I knew 1,000,000% what I was going to do. But did you know that you can start completely and utterly risk-free businesses? I'm sharing those next week in the launch group. If you just want to click on the link above, you can come and join us in that launch group. It doesn't open yet, so don't be like, oh, she's not let me in. I will let you in, but I think it's on Thursday that we start letting people in. But you can start completely and utterly risk-free businesses, even if you've got no money to start a business. You want to build a product business, but you don't have any products. Even if you've got zero knowledge in any kinds of marketing or sales or anything, you can still build a business. You've got no prior business experience whatsoever. You can still build a side business. There are streams that you can do. You don't have to leave your job. You don't have to get in trouble with your HR department like I did. Because I'm going to tell you everything. I'm like, go and check this out first. Go and check that out first. Okay, this is a legitimate and viable stream for you. So here's going to be more information. If you can't find the link in the titles, just comment link in the comments, and I'll get one of the team to chuck you off the link for it. So you don't have to risk any of that. Now, I'm guessing I'm going to share with you a stream of income where you can do this. Zero risk, zero. You can even do zero marketing. Zero, nothing, nada, no investment, no nothing. Have any of you heard of Etsy? Type a yes in the comments. Type a yes. Now, I love Etsy. I love Etsy. I go on there to buy all my personalized gifts. I go on there to buy gifts for our students inside of Entrepreneurcity. I love buying those gifts. They're just really cute stuff, you know, like the message in a bottle and just so many different things on there. Etsy is a business that requires zero risk. Now you might think, oh, I don't know, I'd flipping sell on Etsy. And how can I build a business on Etsy without having a product? Because aren't they all products? Yeah. But guess what? There is stuff on there that you do not need to physically ever touch a product. You can build on Etsy a clothing line without ever purchasing an item of clothing, without ever touching an item of clothing, without ever picking and packing an item of clothing. There are loads of different things that you can do with Etsy. Zero physical products, zero picking and packing, zero then customer service issues. It's crazy. And there are so many people on Etsy making massive amounts of money, but also people on Etsy who are earning a couple of £100 or 500 quid or £1,000. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was in that police officer situation and somebody said to me, hey, listen, you can build a business without touching this, this, or this. You can build a business without doing this, this, or this. And guess what? It's on Etsy. I mean, I'm not even sure. Yeah, I think it was around then. Maybe it was around then. But it's got so many different business owners on Etsy. So this is not like a one thing suits, you know, everybody, but there's loads of different things that you can pick from. You just might not know how to implement them. You might not know how the marketing works within Etsy without you marketing on the front end, on your socials, for example. One of the biggest sellers on Etsy, which is crazy, they do like 40,000 orders per week, 40,000 orders a week, and they sell seeds. Yeah, seeds. All right, they got a touch product, I would imagine, unless they go direct from source or whatever, but seeds, 40,000 order. And even if they were selling each one at £1, I mean, that's a pretty hefty side business, right? That is pretty nice. Now, there are different things that you can do on Etsy. And guess what? I'm not an expert, but I am starting to build a business on it, because the streams of income that I'm telling you about, I'm telling you about them because I've researched the absolute chisel out of them. I've also found the very, very best expert to teach you how to build a business on Etsy. And guess what? We're going to teach you next week for free. And the reason why I'm doing this is because you can come in, you can look at the buffet spread. Think of it as like a physical buffet spread. And this buffet spread is made up of different side businesses. One of those is Etsy, one of them affiliate, passive income. I'm not going to tell you the rest. I'm going to share them with you in my lives this week. But you can take a look at these businesses. While we're sharing them with you, I'm going to share with you people's honest stories, real stories from real people building real incomes on these platforms that are not scared to tell you the truth, to talk about the pros and the cons, the advantages, the disadvantages. Because how can anyone make an informed decision if they're not actually informed? And how can we trust the people that are informing us are giving us the right information if the benefit to them is that, I don't know, that, you know, you're kind of doing one of their programs or whatever. Next week is completely free. There's absolutely no obligation whatsoever. At the end of that week, you take all the information. We never see you again. That's absolutely cool. We believe that by sharing this, we're going to cause a ripple effect. And the ripple effect will be that you now know, even if you write it all in a notebook, you close the notebook, you don't look at it again, you now know that there are opportunities for you out there. Some of them might suit you, some of them might not. I don't believe in, Ellie's like, how do you deal with saturated markets? There's no such thing as saturated markets. It's just, if you're not taking a slice of the pie, it's probably because you're either not marketing it well enough, or if you're part of, like, because it depends what side business you're in. But for me, you're not marketing it well enough, because if other people are doing well in it, then you can also take a slice of the pie. Mr. Andrex isn't the only person who sells toilet roll. There's still new brands of toilet roll being launched every single day. And I'm not being funny, but if we think about it, and there's water, people still sell water. People still start water brands. Why do they start water brands? And we can get it free from our taps in our house and put it in our own plastic bottle, and we don't have to spend £2 on it at the services. There is enough for everybody. And it's not saturated. There we go, Al. I've talked you around. Because it's true. It's absolutely true. But sometimes, and I get what you mean, because there is so much, you're seeing so much online, you feel like, oh, there's no point doing that because that kind of rise is already gone. But it hasn't, because there's new people coming into new different side businesses every single day and exceeding businesses that have already been set up. So it's not the case. Some things you might be like, oh, you know what? I've looked at the pros, I've looked at the cons, looked at the advantages, disadvantages. I looked at the money involved with it. And do you know what? Can't be asked. It's not for me. Too much effort for too little return. It doesn't make sense. But that's the great thing about next week. You're going to have all that information. We're going to talk about things. You know, we might mention things that are like, this is a pretty busy marketplace. So you're really going to have to do something to stand out. That's fine. Okay, so I am giving away something on live every night this week, and I've got to tell you at the beginning. So if you quickly go to the share button and pop a share, if you quickly tag someone in the comments, if you type shared into the comments right now, I'll just give you a minute or so. Have a sip of my wine, which I didn't have much, and now it's wine and water. See, I didn't need it that much, did I? I am hot though. That's how I'm talking about this stuff. Don't share it, do you? But This is my promise now. This is my mission. I'm sharing everything. You can have it all. Okay. All you've got to type in the comments when you shared is shared. Every night this week, I am going to be sharing with you a different stream of income that we are going to be teaching you inside of our free, yes, I'll say it again, free group. And every night, on Thursday, actually, I'm doing it in the morning. So you can go to the events on my page and you can have a little look at what time I've scheduled them for. But on Thursday, I'll be in the morning, but you can catch up anytime. They're on my page as well. But if you're on live, I am giving away a prize. Okay, I'm going to do another 25 quid Amazon voucher tonight. Let me do that. I'll change it up tomorrow. I just haven't really been very inventive, have I? But, you know, who doesn't want 25 quid Amazon voucher? So thank you for sharing. You guys are amazing. Comment in the comments now. I'm in. Just comment I'm in the comments, and then I'm going to pick from those comments that say I'm in. I'm going to pick a winner to win the £25 Amazon voucher. You can type it as many times as you want. Thanks, Kai. You can type it as many times as you want, but I want to know who is coming next week to our free event, the free buffet. Don't tell everyone it's a buffet. They will actually expect food. Be like, hang on a minute, there's no food. There's no food here. The buffet spread of side businesses, where you will be told the advantages, the disadvantages, the pros, the cons, and you're going to learn from the experts. Plus, you're going to hear from people. No affiliation, these people, to me whatsoever. I have found these people who are building these incomes. I have had proof of these incomes because I want to know it's real. I'm like, listen, if I'm going to show my mates this in this group, I need to know that this is what you're doing and this is what you're building. And they, off the back of that, are not selling anything. They're not like, oh yeah, I built this amazing business. Come and join me, do this. No, nothing. They're just sharing with you like, yeah, I'm a mum. I'm really busy. Some of them are like failed at previous businesses. And I started this business, for example, someone with Etsy, and I've really succeeded with it. And it's given me this, this, and this. I'm going to share those little interviews throughout the week inside our group next week. So click on the link to join. We don't open it up until, when do we open it? Thursday, I think. Okay, so let me have a little look from the comments. Let me see. I'm scrolling, and then I literally might have to like close my eye. Jesus, loads of you commented. I might have to close my eyes then and just click on somebody who shared. Hold on. Caroline Jane Smith. Caroline Jane Smith has won a £25 Amazon voucher. Message me your email address and then I can buy it straight away and it'll be emailed over to you like we did with Donna last night. And you've just got yourself a £25 Amazon voucher. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me tonight. I'll see you same time again tomorrow night, which let me tell you what I'm going to share with you. This one's so real. I mean, like they all are real, but this one is like a real pain for people. It affects a lot of people. I know. Mum guilt. Call it parent guilt because I know we've got guys listening as well. But I called it mum guilt in my title because that was my reality. And I'm going to talk to you tomorrow about a decision, a business decision that I made that when I made it, I literally felt the biggest amount of mum guilt. I'm going to share with you that decision. I think it's important to share these things because, you know, I've built different streams of incomes and some of those have been easier than others and some of them have been more passive than others. Some of them have required less time. Some of them have required zero marketing whatsoever. Some of them required my face everywhere, which is uncomfortable in itself at the beginning. So loads of different things, but I'm going to share with you tomorrow the one decision that I made in business that gave me the biggest amount of mum guilt. And hopefully that will help you guys avoid it. So I will see you tomorrow. Don't forget, Caroline, send me an email so I can keep on top of the prizes. Take care, everyone. See ya.